になる Every step is beating in time 影が重なるその瞬間 I don't wanna say goodnight 君の影を追い越して I don't need a reason why すぐにまた振り返るそれだけでいい君の影を追い越して Stay a little longer please 遠回りの道続けばいい続けばいい影を追い越して
Udah lama gak begini-begini. Main apa ya? Yang selalu cek dulu, cek. Kita ceki per suaraan ini. Kemana ini? Salah mencet. Hilang dah background gua, backsound. Udah pokoknya lah. Ini aman kali ya, udahlah. Biarin aja. Main apa? Lagi main apa ini? Main apa? Terus finish. And then what? Oh ini. Kita cek dulu ya, bisa nggak nih? Nggak bisa. Gamenya. Kenapa kursor kok nggak bisa? Terus kita pindahin ke sini, terus Kita pindahin lagi displaynya. Udah gak? Nah eta Inggris. Kita matiin ininya. Have you played the Stanley Parable before? No. Please adjust. Jujur nggak kelihatan. Ini aman nggak sih ini? Make full. Please enter current. Ini AM apa PM? Sekarang AM PM sih. Oh jadi. Sekarang tuh jam berapa sekarang? 10 5 3 4 lah. Accessibility setting can be accessed from the main menu. Okay. Kita ini pakai controller. Bisa dah. Audio video kita off. Quality playboard. Play. Oke. Langsung saja. Kita mulai. Oh iya webcamnya.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a
Mas.
big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's
Sini dah,
job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Loh, nggak bisa ya? Nggak bisa lompat. Ini gue mencet-mencet tapi jamnya enggak jam tadi buat apa kalau gitu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. no matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Nah, mana ini orang-orang? Yang mana orang-orang?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Ya biarin orang mau mencet-mencet aja ini mah. Bukan game horror kan? The Stanley kamu bukan horor kan? Ini gue suruh ngapain sih?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
He
entered
entered the door on his left. Suruh ke kiri nih. Suruh ke kiri. Nih suruh ke kiri. Kiri kanan. Ke kanan
This was not the correct way to
This
the
was not
meeting room,
correct.
and Stanley knew
The meeting and
perfectly
Stanley
well.
know it.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Just shoot. Yang mana? Ini kemana aja?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It
Admiring.
had really been worth the
It has
detour
really
after
been
all,
worth the-
just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Wait.
Yes, really,
Lord.
really worth it being here in the room. A room
kira
so
orang
utterly
itu.
captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Sabar. Mau nyantai.
At this, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Ini kemana? Apa tujuannya tuh? Dari suruh ke kiri kan? Lurus lah. Do not lying. If you are lying right now, stop. Okay. Nggak bohong.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Kan pembangkang. Stanley si pembangkang. Nggak bisa. Ini kemana aja? Bisa lompat lagi.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Siapa sih? Siapa yang nunggu kita teh? Oh, gelap kocak. Wait. Ini apa?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Wah, saya ngeblok. Anjing. Apa lagi nih?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Nggak boleh hantu, Mike. Ini maksa.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning. Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Dan lo bisa mencet yang lain, anjing. Harus ngikutin kok malah. Oh, udah gue pencet semua tombol kecuali Y.
In his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Please present to tell your kids to.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Berusaha
And
gue
I'm
pencet.
trying to tell him this.
I'm trying to tell
that in
him
this
this.
world he can never be anything but
can
an
never be
observer.
anything-
That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
killing
He
himself.
won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time
The
the
next
screen
time the
asks you to push a
screen
button,
asks you to
do
push a
not
button.
do it.
Oh alah. Jangan dipencet katanya. Coba gue ikutin ya. Tapi kalau nggak dipencet nggak ngapa-ngapain dia anjing. Nggak jelas. Mau dipencet apa enggak ini jadinya? Udah nggak terjadi apa-apa gitu kalau nggak dipencet teh. Harus
You
dipencet.
see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules.
But I don't
simply
make
play
the
to my
rules, I
intended
simply play.
purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Mana lah, lama.
And I tried again. And
Please
Stanley
die,
pushed a button.
maksud.
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Mati nih. Maksud never the end is never the end. Loh, kok lama tuh tadi?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Kan udah
What
tuh,
could it mean?
ulang.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Coba ya, kita oh bisa ini. Tadi bisa tuh. Polisi. Mencet aja ayo. Nggak bisa. Kita ke kanan lagi ya.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Kan tadi udah. Ini udah.
Wow.
Ini udah.
This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous... But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Kan tadi kalau lurus kita ke tadi lagi. Kiri coba.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Di sini ada. sini. Kaget gua.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Jalan lagi nggak? Belum sana kita.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Kibulin gini.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Kemana kocak?
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Asli itu ya. Apa? Ini. Anjing. Negangkan. Anjing, no.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's
Sudah berapa
rubbish now.
ending?
The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Maksud?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nah lagi tadi kan kanan udah berarti ke jalan yang benar kiri. Loh tapi ini mati. Ini mati. Masih tumpah. Tapi kok nggak dia nggak nutup ya? Pintunya nggak nutup, tumben. Kok jadi banyak?
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Iya benar.
It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come Stanley,
Kemana?
let's find the story.
Rio bisa tuh. Wah kocak tambah banyak ini mah. Wah lu. Bercabang gini kocak.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
Iya,
I
restart
find
lah.
it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Loh. Pusing padaku pusing. Maksud dan tujuan. Clear.
All of his co-workers were
Tuh,
gone.
yang asli
What did it
menutup
mean?
ininya.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ini nyala benar kan? Kita matiin. Ini nyala benar. Nah ini nih, ini kok mati nih? Benar. Tuh sekarang nggak ada pintunya, kocak.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Ngapain? Karena nggak ada pintunya emang, gak jelas. Ini game apa sih? Harus nyari pintu nih emang.
Aha! I knew
Goblok
we
terus.
missed something. The story. Here it comes.
Kemana jadinya?
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Malah buntu. Ih. Ih.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Bukan, kocak.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put
Apa
in any
sih?
actual work for that win. Some
Sekarang
people win fair
pintunya
and
nggak
square,
ada.
and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Di. Sekarang ada garisnya.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure
Ini
Line.
game apa sih?
Just
Keren
follow the
banget.
line. How simple is that?
Kenapa jadi ke kanan? Bukan ke kanan anjing. Kalau ini masih mati nih. Udah ke situ anjing jalannya mah.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Beneran dong. Suruh ngikutin. Gak bisa matiin ya.
You see?
Ini kemana
The
ya?
line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Loh.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Goblok kaget. Apa sih ini? Audio. Biar nggak terlalu keras. Tapi taruh. Ini kemana ini? Bentar dulu. Ini ke sini. Kan ke sini nih. Taruh dah. Nih ya. Ini kan harusnya ke kanan. Ini gua ke kiri. Ke kanan. Berarti kan harusnya di kanan kan. Apa sih liur anjing? Gas. Musiknya sampai kapan gua tanya lah. Udah woi. Terus ya bentar ya. Ada musik masih loh. Ini kemana garisnya? Wah, nggak jelas garisnya. Garisnya nggak jelas. Garisnya mulai nggak jelas. Begitu. Dia begitu. Ini kemana ini? Wah anjing. Wah. Kenapa bisa beda gitu? Tuh. Ini ada lorong. Sini. Ini ada lorong. Sini lah.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Apa?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Wait. Hilang nih. Lorong. Bisa hilang anjing.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Lah, kita dari sini.
Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Ben. Taruh. Ceki.
Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Wah, nggak jelas, Cok. Oke, kita mengikuti line lagi. Ambil tetap buka. Empat dua 424. Nomor di pintu teh buat apa ya? Wah, sini lagi.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ih, ada lagi loh garisnya anjing. Nah. Aduh, emang ini begini?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Muter terus gue liat-liat. Gue ikutin lah. Tuh, motor doang anjing. Pusing, Mas. Ini kemana nih?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Sumpah jadi kemana-mana ini, gue nggak ngikutin yang dia suruh teh. Ini kemana?
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Udah nggak bisa itu.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
Ini
You're
apanya?
telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Enggak ini 13.
That's really how all this goes?
13.
It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't
Ini
want
kenapa
it to be.
ujung-ujungnya
I
mati?
don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
Ini game
Will
apa sih
something
sebenarnya?
happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Maksud? Oh begitu.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Coba ya kita coba lagi. Nah ini masih mati nih. Ini masih mati dan ini yang nyala nih. Masih anomali ini cok. Mati yang itu nyala. Pintunya juga nggak nutup.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Kira apa kanan nih? Masih anomali ini.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Karena ada yang beda.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Ini benar ya? Oke. Ini pintu yang kiri nih. Ini ruangan meeting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve. Apa ini cok? Target. Jelek amat tulisannya. Do not alter without consulting. Everyone is unique.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Apa dulu? Nggak ada apa-apa.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Bohong nggak sih? Oke, Mas. Kita explore aja semua. Nah,
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Mana?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? and everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Mati, ujung-ujungnya mati. Tidak terowak. Pulang lagi nih.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Nutupnya.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Tunggu, yang salahnya udah gue coba belum? Semua belum saya? Ya udah ya. Tuh, ini masih mati nih. Apa mati dari awal ya?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Kanan udah, kanan kiri dah. Ruang meeting.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Beda.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Keren nge-restart aja.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Sama apa beda? Sama kayaknya ya. Ke atas dah. Gimana? To be rich is commit. Itu pokoknya. Gak ada petunjuk ini kita. Gimana? Jatuh nih. Ruangan bos kan? Input berapa lagi tuh? 2 lagi. Coba ini ya. Kayaknya mah ruangan bos itu tuh. Kita nggak ke ruangan bos, kita coba ke atas. Yang nyanyi si narator ya mah. emang bener anjing. Maksud? Anjing. Di scam cok. Cuma lagu doang ini mah. Tetap di sini tuh. Oh, scam kocak. Bisa berapa lagi sih? 2 ya itu. Tuh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Berapa tadi? 2845. Ada yang bisa gua pencet ya?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845.
2854. Oh, nggak ada ini lagi.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Itu udah bener loh anjing. Loh ini mah yang mau goreng. Ini kemana anjing? Pesan gua mencet ke atas.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Kita tahu dah, bebas lah endingnya yang mana aja dah.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Berapa sih tadi? 2845 kan. Gak bisa. Gak mau dah.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he? Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Kiri kanan. Mind control facility escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Cuek gua mah.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Apa tuh? Lagi bukan jam sekarang. Ini apa aja?
As the machine whirred into motion
Canggih
and
juga.
Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence
Lah,
whatsoever.
mati gua dong.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a bloody
Kegencet dong
man.
gua, kegencet
So he
ini mah
resigned
kegencet.
and willingly
Gepeng
accepted
dong,
this
gepeng,
violent
gepeng,
end
gepeng.
to
Ya,
his
ya, ya,
brief
ya.
and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ya.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Nggak jadi mati.
And
Yeah.
yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Stanley komputer. Office layout. Ini kan itu sini. Ini apa ini? Sini nih, benar. Ini apa? Koridor ya, oke. The two door, iya benar ini. Belum ada lagi. Filling cabinet. Office komputer. Oke. Komputer apa ini? The office. Button. A selection of the sound used. Lah, udah tamat ini. Saya tamat anjing. Bos office. Bos office. Bos office. Orang tengah. Office clock. Ini gua kemana anjing? Ini kemana? The office. Maintenance room. Terlalu banyak mas. Warzone. Ini kayaknya belum Warzone. Ultra Deluxe. Kayaknya mah ini spoiler semua anjing. Ya enggak sih? Stanley office. Kayaknya mah karena ke tempat escape gak sih?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other
Ini.
way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let
Apa? Dari ulang lagi dah.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oke. Dia konsisten. Kita buka-buka lagi.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Saya ikutin lah.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Kenapa di ini sekarang? Biar nggak masuk.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nih kita bos. Yang sama. Ini mati. Tetap sama ya. Coba ini masih sama. Apakah masih sama? Masih sama ini. Gak ada yang berubah. Ini kita ke ruangan bos.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845 ya.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Kita cari yang salahnya aja nih.
2845.
Gak ada yang berubah.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Memang dibukain ya? Apa itu yang buka? Tuh pengen kebuka cok. Nggak ada center apa center. Dia pengen kebukanya. Tetap ke sini kah? Udah ini mah.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Udah escape. Ke apa tadi? Mind.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Kayak ini apa?
What horrible secret
X-Men.
did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to
Charles,
find out?
Charles. Ini beneran lagi. Charles. Bisa nggak bisa?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Biasanya kan kita di sana.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Biasanya kita di atas sana no.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Mana ini?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Pintu lain gak sih? Wah, gelap banget anjing. Ini ada tangga nih. Kemana naiknya? Sini kah? Ini tangga gak sih? Ini kan tangga. Gue tahu pasti harus ke sini, cuman sini kan. Mind control awaiting input.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Oh. Terus
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Say, amat nggak sih? Aman tamat ya, Kut.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sampai tamatnya dah. Sampai si apa? Bukan anjing. Enggak gini.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Coba langsung. Beda ya. Beda itu ya. Tulisannya. Apakah masih sama dia cuma nyanyi? Stanley. Sama ternyata. Sama aja. Coba ini langsung kita.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a
What?
living soul anywhere. Could he really be
2,
all alone?
8, 5.
This was too much for Stanley to take.
Berapa
Too
sih?
much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future?
Berapa?
Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Siapa ini buat apa?
Feeling
Masih musik
soothed
kok.
and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Sama aja ya. Sama aja. Nanti emang kesini ini. Alur beres dibukanya. Kirain ada yang lain gitu.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Kan udah ya. Kita harusnya ke apa tadi? New control. New content.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Sama aja ini.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now,
Coba kalau gua
monitors jumped to
mencet
life, their true
on.
nature revealed. Each
Kan
bore
tadi
the
mencet
number
off
of
tuh.
an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? Here
Sama
was the
aja ya.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled
Langsung
with
aja.
emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking,
Langsung terus
eating,
mencet yang
working. All of it monitored and commanded
on.
from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over a... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Stanley. I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Apa sih? Dari ulang lagi nih.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ini konten hilang tuh. Ini nih. Tapi gue masih penasaran
When
Kalau
Stanley came to a
berhasil.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Taruhan ya kontennya
Yet there
taruh.
was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Berapa tadi? 4. Coba lihat tuh. Tulisannya apa sekarang? Masih sama kayak yang tadi. Ini mati. Nggak ada yang berubah udah.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Belum gue pencet. Bisa gitu ya gamenya, anjing keren. Cara bikinnya gimana ini game?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oke.
The lights rose on an enormous
Langsung
room
Lama.
packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Tiganya di mana? 3. 4 di sana kan di atas. Tiganya belum ada nih. Ini 5. Tiganya mana ya? Ini kah? 3. Oh berarti di situ 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oke. Coba.
And when at last he found the source... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Ngerti. Mencet-mencetnya.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
Kita ke new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Nggak tahu loh yang asli. Kemana ini?
Hello, And thank you for
goblok,
playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013
2013
on
ya.
home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Seru.
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Apa itu promosi?
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
Apa?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Mana?
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley.
Apa?
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle? Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something
Oh,
else,
kita ikutin
right?
Ini game apa sih? Apa? Kocak. Jelas. Apa itu doang anjing?
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new
Okay,
content,
Magic.
then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I
Lagi nih.
knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Thank you.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Ah,
You see,
punching.
Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable.
Biarin dia aja yang ngomel.
It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yes. Terulang lagi. Oh, beda. Beda nih. Beda nih. Beda. Ini kecil tuh. Goblok.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway. Oh, never mind. You're not a dork.
Gue ikutin.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Audience Stanley. Memory line. Go outside. Nominate. Nah gitu dong. Ini bener.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Memory Zone. Come on, you.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Serious room apa itu? Di mana nih? Tiba-tiba kebuka.
Hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Ini apanya?
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were going as well, weren't they?
Kontennya teh kemana ya?
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Kemana lagi ini kita? Oh deh. Ini nggak ada.
Okay, let's see what this one says.
Ini apa ini?
While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well,
Yeah,
yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertip. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
2 minggu ya.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about...
Skipnya terus. Sekarang apa? Apa anjing?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said...
Sampai kapan nanti anjing?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the...
Apa? Tiba-tiba hancur anjing. Tumbuh ya. Oke, wae ya. Mau sampai kapan ini? Mulai nggak kelihatan nih. Yang bilang ada juri. Umok. Kemana ini? Nggak bisa punya. Ini kemana? Iya. Wah anjing, naon sih ini game? Arahnya kemana ini game? Kita ikutin matahari. Oh, baru mau ngomong sampai kapan?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Udah ini.
What could it mean? Stanley
Ulang
decided to
lagi.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference. No.
Udah. Kita udahin. Ih. Demi apa ini game sekali tamat? Oh enggak anjing. Nih, jadi begini nih. Nah,
All of his co-workers were gone. What could
Ya
it
begitu.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
kira. Ya, gamenya menarik sih, lumayan sih. Game keren aja menurut gua mah. Kok bisa gitu, mana-mana nyambung gitu. Keren. Game yang keren, endingnya banyak. Anjing, bingung tuh. Udah malam anjing, udah jam 1 malam. Udah 2 jam lah, cok lagi. Cok tamat kali, berapa sih? Berapa jam taruh? Apa namanya? The Stanley Parable. Ini berapa jam? Mana ya? Banyak banget ini, ada berapa ending aja? Playing time 2 jam. Oh anjing, katanya 9 jam. Main story wah 12 jam. Main story cuma 2 jam anjing, bohong banget. Nah, thank you yang udah nonton. Kita bertemu lagi di next streaming. Bye bye. Thank you.
You